Okay, so we will start then now because it is already a little late.
Hare Krishna, Sadhu Prabhuji, you will be the host, right?
Yeah, Prabhuji, yes. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu.
You will be the host, na?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
आपको host बना दे दो.
Okay, Prabhuji, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna. Right?
yes. We can start, Prabhu, now because it is already a little late, right? Okay, Prabhu is left. So we'll start that now. So, welcome all, Prabhujis and Matajis. And we are going to start today's session now. And it is again very, very important section of Srimad Bhagavatam. So many things we are going to learn. So, let's start with the opening prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tadojayam Udiraye Nastya Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yat Kripatam Vande Shri Guru Deen Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. So I'm going to share my screen and then we will start the discussion. So, as usual, before we start actually the discussion of the shlokas assigned for today, we will be first trying to set the expectations and try to know how today's learning is going to help us. So, Vritrasura was a demon. Indra is not only a demigod, he is the king of the demigods. A person who is on the higher platform is assigned more facilities because more is expected from him. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of High Court judge. He is given so many facilities. He has to sit on a chair, right? And unlike a clerk who has to work a lot more than the High Court judge physically, is not given so many responsibilities because higher the responsibilities, more the expectations. So if a clerk makes a mistake, this is just an example. Every role has its own responsibility and its own expectations, but we're just trying to understand the difference by taking this as an example. So with full respect to all the job profiles, right? So we are given more responsibility so that we can do the things with more efficiently. Now, the king of the heaven, Mr. Indra, performs, we will see in today's verse, performs in a way, and then the Vritrasura, who's a demon, behaves in a different way. We, by means of today's discussion, we must be fully convinced in the core of our hearts that in our life we should not be judgmental. Every sinner had a past, and every thief has every saint had a past, every thief has a future. It is like this. So if a person is in bad condition or behaving badly, it does not mean he will remain like this. He is having a future. And if a person is behaving like saintly, it does not mean he was always a saint. He also had a past. Maybe he has overcome those problems and today. So we don't need to be judgmental. Okay, anybody can behave in any manner if the proper guidance of Guru Shastra is not taken. We are always in the risk without the support of these three elements. So Vritrasura is going to be like last week we discussed, right, in the chapter 10, right? It was 6th canto, 10th chapter, first 10 verses we discussed. And that day we discussed today's hero was Dadichi Muni, right? Because I offered his life to King Indra so that they could fight against Vritrasura. And he said, even though he was attached to his body, but because you are taking it for a good purpose and the Lord has a hand in it, so he happily gave his body. Now, today's hero is going to be Vritrasura. Not only today, for next few days. And we are going to learn so many things from both the characters, King Indra and Vritrasura. So, okay, muted. So, we'll go to the sloka 10 onwards. 10 to 19 is what we have to discuss today. I assume 1 to 9 has been already discussed. Sa Indra Satruha Krapito Prashamtaya Mahindravaham Gadayor Vikramaha Jaghan Kumbasthala Unadhan Marte Tatkarma Sarva Samapujan Rapaha. So let me request one by one if somebody is interested. Yes, Intu Mataji. Please use the translation only. There are not many purports today. Yes.
Point 11.10.
Yes.
Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sa Indra Shatru Kupito Brisham Taya Mahendra Vaham Gadayor Vikramaha Jaghana Kumbasthala Unnadan Mrite Tatkarma Sarve Samapujayan Nripa. Translation.
Yes.
O King Parikshit, the powerful Vritrasura, the enemy of King Indra, angrily struck the head of Indra's elephant with that club, making a tumultuous sound on the battlefield. For this heroic deed, the soldiers on both sides glorified him. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhuri. So, Sukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj about the powerful Vritrasura, the enemy of King Indra. He angrily, who did it? Vritrasura. What he did, he angrily struck the head of Indra's elephant, Airavata, with his club, making a tumultuous sound on the battlefield. For his heroic deed, the soldiers on both the sides glorified him. So, okay. So what we learn from here is this is the scene basically, how this is happening. So Indra attacked Vritrasura, and before this, Vritrasura was chastising, right? We have gone through those slokas. So Vritrasura was chastising his own soldiers because by looking at the powerful demigods, all the demons started running. And the Vritrasura was trying to chastise them, saying, using very hard words, Okay, saying, are you the descendants of your parents, or you are just a stool? Because only a stool has no courage; it cannot take any action. Okay, so like that, with heavy words, he was trying to chastise those soldiers. And then after that, when all the demigods, when they found the opportunity, they started attacking the demons more aggressively. And then Vritrasura comes and then says, for a brave, heroic person, it does not sound very heroic to attack on those who are anyway running from the battlefield. You will not be glorified for your these actions. Demons who are running away are anyway has to be chastised. They have no good. Okay, but those who are attacking, those running demons, are again a question of, right. It is not any heroic thing. And then he alone faces the army of the demigods, and by the roaring sound of Vritrasura, many demigods, it is mentioned in the previous verses, they faint. Can we imagine? There are two armies. One army's soldiers are running away. Only the leader of their army alone on one side, and all the demigods and their army on the other side. And this Vritrasura is making such a roaring sound that many soldiers of the demigods, they faint. Now, the king of the demigods, Indra, because when he saw his soldiers getting fainted, in an anger, he is attacking Vritrasura with his club. Okay, and then Vritrasura, we will see, he just catches the club with his left hand, and then he attacks it back, hitting it on the head of the Airavata, who is the elephant of King Indra. So this is the context and this sloka that we just discussed. Airavato Vritra Gadamim Bristo Vigurnito Adrihi Kuli Sahato Yatha Pasarad Bhinna Mukha Sahendro Munchan Asrag Sapta Dhanur Brasa Rataha. Yes, I see two hands. Let me request Rohini Mataji to please read the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Struck with the club by Vritrasura like a mountain struck by a thunderbolt, the elephant Airavat, feeling great pain and spitting blood from its broken mouth, was pushed back 14 yards. In great distress, the elephant fell with Indra on its back. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, if any one of us in our hearts have any doubt why in Srimad Bhagavatam we are discussing Vritrasura, fine, he is going to be proven to be a great devotee of the Lord. Bhagavatam is meant for devotees. But why even this incident, that these minute details, that name of the Indra's elephant is Airavata, he is being attacked with the same club which Indra used for Vritrasura, and then Airavat is pushed behind 14 yards. 14 yards is a good distance. So in square feet, 1 yard is equal to 9 feet. So 14 yards becomes 14 into 9, which is 126 square feet. It's a good distance that an elephant like Airavata, who is the elephant of Indra, he is pushed behind this much distance. And then the blood is coming out of his mouth, and then even King Indra also fell down. If we have these questions, why so many minute details are explained, the answer of them is anything which is related to the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is about the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is the incarnation of our Krishna in this Kali Yuga when the Lord disappeared. So forget about this is very high that Airavata and right Vritrasura. Even those millions of soldiers who were present in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, because they saw Krishna while leaving their body, even they all got the liberation. Those millions and millions of soldiers. So anything, it is called Tadya in Hindi. Tadya means in relation to the Lord. So anything which is in relation to the Lord is glorified, is glorifiable and must be glorified. So we must not have any doubt that this may not be related to the bhakti. In Srimad Bhagavatam, every single thing which is there, it has a reason, and once we read it with the full faith, from any topic to any topic, there are 18,000 shlokas in Srimad Bhagavatam, 700 shlokas in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. From any shloka, we can get so many things which in the first place may sound very ordinary. So let us not do this mistake of taking anything lightly, because if we take it lightly, we are somewhere doing injustice to ourselves. Why? Because we are just losing an opportunity to learn something very important. Okay, we are coming back to this verses further. Verse 12. Na sannavahaya vishana chetase prayunukta bhuya sagadam mahatma indro amrita sayandi kara bhimarasa vita vyatha shatavahu avatasthe. Yes. Good translation. Yes, Sudha Mataji, please read the translation of 12th verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, very clearly, Mataji. Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When he saw Indra's carrier elephant thus fatigued and injured, and when he saw Indra morose because his carrier had been harmed in that way, the great soul Vritrasura, following religious principles, refrained from again striking Indra with the club. Taking this opportunity, Indra touched the elephant with his nectar producing hand, thus relieving the animal's pain and curing its injuries. Then the elephant and Indra both stood silent. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, something again very important to learn from here. See, Vritrasura was a demon. All his armies had left him. Those demigods who found this an opportunity that when the demons' soldiers are running away, let us attack them back even more harder so that they could be victorious with less efforts. On one side, that was the scene, and on second side, this Vritrasura, as I said, his army has left. He is alone, and he also has an opportunity now. Why? Because by this attack, elephant is injured very badly, right? Broken mouth, blood was coming. King Indra has fallen down. to a good distance. Now, in this situation, if he would have attacked without waiting for Indra to come back to the position where he could respond back, he could have easily done some big damage to the demigods, to the king of the demigods also. But he is showing his character. What character? He saw Indra morose because his career had been harmed in that way. And now the great soul Vritrasura, following the religious principles, refrained from again striking Indra with the club. Taking this opportunity, Vritrasura was not unaware that if he waits for some time, Indra will again come back to his full consciousness, and he has powers like this is mentioned here. Indra touched the elephant with his nectar-producing hand. We cannot even imagine the highly elevated positions of the demigods. The demigods can give many boons, but the liberation. We all know the story of Hiranyakashipu and Brahma. After a lot of austerity, which nobody in the past and present and in the future would be able to do, as said by Brahmaji to Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu asked the boon of being immortal. And Brahmaji said, even I am not immortal, how I can give you the boon? And then he applied his mind, and then he came up with a very difficult, complex equation that not inside, not outside, not by weapon, not by animal, not by human, not day, night, up or down, or vayu, or he made such a difficult equation. And Brahmaji said, Tathastu. So these very minute things, we must be able to realize them in our heart. Brahmaji he's also the creator. He's the first person in this universe created by the Lord, and then he created the rest of the universe. So Brahmaji was also not unaware that this Hiranyakashipu, who is doing this lot of austerity, is going to become a great threat. Knowing everything, he gave the boon of Tathastu and accepted his request. We must realize Brahmaji is a great devotee of the Lord. So he had the full faith. If he gives this boon to Hiranyakashipu, Lord can always find a way. Okay, so the degree of surrenderness is our only hope. And now Vritrasura, he is following the religious principle, and he did not do any harm to the demigods and the Indras when he could do it. So we must apply this thing in our mind, in our life also, that we might be finding some moment as very opportunistic. Means if we just do the things with little compromise with our religious principle, we may find it giving us lot of spiritual, lot of material opulences. But we must wait and at least think twice before taking the action, that is it actually in line with the Guru Sadhu Shastra? Maybe this is the moment of my test. Right? We like to hear those stories in Panchtatra, right? And then we tell it to our kids. But when it comes to we applying those things in our life, we often at least don't think twice. Not doing is a great thing, but at least thinking twice and giving ourselves a second chance to understand whether what I'm going to do is correct or not, itself is at least a step into the direction. So this is the learning from Vritrasura's this action. We'll read the 13th sloka now. Satam nirpendraha Satam nirpendriyavaha Kamaya ripum Vajra yudham Bhratahanam Vilokaya Samaramscha tad karma nirasamsam amhaha Sokena mohena hasan jagada. Yes, we'll read the next translation, please. 14th sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, let me request Ambika Mataji. I see that hand of the room.
Yes.
Ambika.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. O king, when the great hero Vritrasura saw Indra, his enemy, the killer of his brothers, standing before him with a thunderbolt in his hand, desiring to fight, Vritrasura remembered how Indra had cruelly killed his brother. Thinking of Indra's sinful activities, he became mad with lamentation and forgetfulness. Laughing sarcastically, he spoke as follows. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, I guess the name of the Vritrasura's brother whom Indra had killed is Vishwarupa. Somebody can please correct me if I'm wrong. So the same Vishwarupa who had I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to comment more before we confirm it. Okay. So he had been killed by Indra. Okay, and then on top of what we just discussed, Vritrasura still gave Indra a chance. Add this more information onto that equation that we just discussed, that even the brother of Vritrasura was killed by the same Indra whom he is going to give the second chance. Which pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam is very much close to this incident, where the enemy has done something really very bad, and for all reasons he should be killed, but still out of the mercy, out of the compassion, the devotee of the Lord still forgives him.
Ambarisha.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish, yes, Mataji, very nice. And even Mother Draupadi, right? Yes, Prabhuji, correct. And then in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the incident of most famous Jagai and Madai, they should be killed, but still, right? They are still given a chance. So, being compassionate is one of the most important quality of a Vaishnava, because we can get this question in our mind: why should I show compassion to this person or to this situation? Why? I have this XYZ, so many reasons. I must do it very practically. No compassion for this thing. Let us rewind our few months, few years of being in Krishna consciousness. If we have not been shown that compassion, today none of us would have been here. Someone ignored our mistakes and out of the compassion still tolerated us, however we were. And there is no amount of the tolerance that Krishna is showing for us. We, after so many lives, are not even able to, right, surrender to Krishna even once. And he is still hopeful, still tolerating us, sitting in our heart. A heart which is full of so many diseases. Kam, Krodh, Moh, Mad, Matsar. Forget how physically we are dirty. I mean, inside, if we know, like if we don't take bath for a day or for 2 days, how will we feel? This body is very, very dirty inside, both physically and even in the subtle way also. But the Lord is there always in the form of the Paramatma. So the best way we can at least, like when the kids goes to a birthday party, right? They are given a written gift. Written gift is also usually, okay, this is something interesting. How many of us have seen we going to a birthday party, taking a small gift, okay, and then coming out with a very big gift. For example, if I give a car to somebody, car is a big gift, right? If we give car to somebody as a birthday gift, but we come back with a helicopter. The Lord is giving us that written gift. We are just trying to surrender. We are not surrendering, because once we are surrendered, we will be able to see the Lord in anything and in everything. We had done that exercise of Aham Sarvasya Prabhu during Bhagavad Gita session, right? Where we could relate the things, the brands that comes around us, how we can use them in remembering the Lord. That was not even nothing in front of how will a devotee feel and he is surrendered. He does not need to remember those brands or anything. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadish kamayi. Mama janmani janmanishware, bhavtat bhakti ahetu kitavai. I don't want anything. Anything means anything. So, coming back again, what is our need to learn from here is to be compassionate. Mercy attracts more mercy. If we are being merciful to someone, we will definitely need more and more mercy when our time comes. It will help at that time. Shri Vritra Uvacha. Vritrasura is going to say these words now. Look at the respect that Vyasdeva and Sukadeva Goswami are giving, right, to the demon. Not because it is also an offense. I mean, I hope I'm able to pass the message. Vritrasura was such a great devotee. Why should we use our demon again and again? It is not to bring his position down. It is to teach a lesson to ourselves that we don't call ourselves as a demon. We call Vritrasura as a demon. So if he is doing that, then okay. This Bhavane Sambhavasito Ripur Yo Brahma Ha Guru Ha Vritar Ha Cha Dishtiyanarano Adhyaham Asatam Asatma Tabaya Majula Nirbhinna Drasad Tradarchirat. Yes, the translation, please. Yes, Mataji, please.
Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Prabhupada ji ki jai. Sri Vratasura said, he who has killed a Brahmana, he who has killed his spiritual master, indeed he who has killed my brother is now by good fortune standing before me face to face as my enemy. O most immobile one, when I pierce your stone-like heart with my trident, I shall be freed from my debt of my brother. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So he's making, Vritrasura is making Indra more and more afraid. But we will see, he just, did we notice this word in the previous shloka towards the end, laughing sarcastically. Okay, so he's saying it sarcastically. He really did not mean it, but he's saying so. So it is, we'll continue further reading. Yono agraja yatma vidho dvijaditer gurur apapshaya cha dikshit asya virabhya khadena siramsi avrasrachad pashor iva karuna swarga kamaha. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Can I request Rupali Mataji?
May I read the
if it's okay?
translation?
May I request for the next one, Mataji? I see Rupali Mataji's hand is above. Maybe he had requested earlier. Is it okay if you read
Sure.
the next shloka? Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Rupali Mataji, you want to read this? No?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Danvat translation
Thank you,
by
Mataji. Yep.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Only for the sake of living in the heavenly planet, you killed my elder brother, a self-realized, sinless, qualified Brahmana who had been appointed your chief priest. He was your spiritual master, but although you entrusted him with the performance of your sacrifice, you later mercilessly served his hand, severed his head
Yes. Yes.
from his body the way one butchers an animal. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So, yes, I now I'm a bit more sure. It is talked about Vishwarupa, because he was the chief priest, right? And he had helped Indra. So even to that chief priest, Indra had killed. And why? Why had he killed? Only for the sake of living in the heavenly planet. So it is very much related to the incident of Dhritarashtra also. The same Dhritarashtra who was given that kingdom for some time, and then out of his blindness, I do not mean the physical blindness, the spiritual blindness, I mean, because he was blind to the instructions of everyone else except Shakuni and Duryodhana. He did not see what is good for him and for his great family lineage. He closed his eyes from taking the right decisions, from stopping the wrong things being happening at the time. That is the reason I'm referring Dhritarashtra as a blind person. And any person who is not able to do the right things, who is not able to see what bad is going on in our limited kingdom, okay? We do not have any kingdom like Dhritarashtra had. But at least a 10 by 10 room or 20 by 30 or 60 by 40, some small house we have, right? So if we are not doing the right things, if we are not teaching the kids the right things, we are not a person with the eyes. What is the use of these eyes, which are anyway going to finish? If not now, then after some time. So we need to see the things with the eyes opened. So now again, in continuation of the previous verse, Vritrasura is telling to Indra, only for the sake of your heavenly planet, you did the heinous act of killing my brother, who was your chief priest, and he was your spiritual master. So we'll continue then. Someone wants to read the sloka also. I accept very transparently. I'm not good in that. No, Kishori Mataji, you want to read the
Yes,
translation and sloka also?
sure, I will read shloka also. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Hridaya Kirti Viru Tam Tava Karmana Purushadesha Gaharyam Krutshena Machula Vibhinna Deha Saprushta Vahim Samadanti Grudraha. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Indra, you are bereft of all shame, mercy, glory, and good fortune, deprived of these good qualities by the reactions of your fruitive activities. You are to be condemned even by the man-eaters, Rakshasas. Now I shall pierce your body with my trident, and after you die with a great pain, even fire will not touch you. Only the vultures will eat your body. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely you have recited. Thank you. So now Indra is further continuing. Sorry, Vritrasura is further continuing his conversation with Indra. Okay. And then these are the very, very heavy words that you don't have any good qualities. And because of your blind fruitive activities, even the Rakshasa who eats men, they will not touch you. Okay, and when I kill you with my trident, okay, you will die for sure because of the pain. But then even fire, right? Bodies are burnt with fire, right? Even the fire will not touch you. Only the vultures will eat your body. So I'm finding it very encouraging. It is very, very similar to how Vidura explained to Dhritarashtra when he was not leaving the palace, even when they were defeated. The attachments were so high that Dhritarashtra thought, it's okay, my all 100 sons have died, because Yudhishthira is not asking, let me continue to remain a king. Yudhishthira being Dharmaraj, he will never ask, oh Tauji, he was his Tauji, right? Father's elder brother. Oh Tauji, when will you leave the kingdom? When can I dethrone you? No, he will never ask. And because Yudhishthira was not asking, Dhritarashtra was not dethroning himself, and he was continuing to become the king. Look at the attachments. For a king, his respect is everything. A king is not supposed to be attached to his kingdom. It is to serve the nation. But when we have a responsibility and inside the cover, we are trying to gratify our senses, we are again no better than Dhritarashtra. Again, as I said, we need not to have a kingdom. Srila Prabhupada was telling in one of his lecture, a man in the train in Kolkata, he was having half burnt woods. I don't know whether we discussed this example earlier. He was having a bag of half burnt wood, which was having almost no value. But that man was taking care of those woods very nicely, as if it is something very, very precious. So to prove ourselves, to give ourselves a feeling of being proprietor and the owner of something, we do not need to have a royal kingdom before us. Okay, even a 100 rupees or 1000 rupees small phone is sufficient to make ourselves a feeling of being a proprietor of something very important. The essence is not the material accumulation, but it is to our feeling of being attached. Okay. So we'll continue. Let me request Mataji only. Kishori Mataji, is it okay if you continue to read? As Mataji left, or somebody else wants to read the further shlokas and the translation? Okay, I'll try them. Anyone can raise their hand anytime. You're most welcome. Anne anu ye tvahe nrisham samagya yadutha tastraha praharanti mahayam tabhurtanathan sagnana nishanta trishula nirvignag lerya jami. Translation. I see two hands now. I request Swati Mataji, please read the translation, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. You are naturally cruel. If the other demigods, unaware of you, of my prowess, follow you by attacking me with a raised weapon, I shall sever their heads with his sharp trident. With those heads, I shall perform a sacrifice to Bhairava and the other leaders of the ghosts along with their hordes.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So he's
Hare
saying
Krishna
if someone
Prabhuji.
else, thank you, Mataji. Krishna. So in continuation, he's saying that if other demigods wants to attack me similarly, I not leave them, and I will offer to the Bhairava, right, or the other leaders of the ghost. So next loka, Atho hare me kulishena vira harta pramatheva shiro yadihi Trananarno bhutabalim vidhaya maniswanam padarajah prapatashe. Translation. Who wants to read? Yes, Sindhu Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Please
Hare
read.
Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Text 18. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But if in this battle you cut off my head with your thunderbolt and kill my soldiers, O Indra, O great hero, I shall take great pleasure in offering my body to other living entities, such as jackals and vultures. I shall thus be relieved of my obligations to the reactions of my karma, and my fortune will be to receive the dust from the lotus feet of great devotees like Narad Muni.
Yes, Mataji, please continue. We cannot read these backwards. Very
Sri Narottama
yes.
Das Thakur sings, E Chaya Goshani Ara Muhitara Dasa Tansa Bhara Pada Remu Prapancha Grasha.
Yes.
I am the servant of the 6 Goswamis, and the dust of their lotus feet provides my 5 kinds of food. A Vaishnava always desires the dust of the lotus feet of the previous Acharyas and Vaishnavas. Vritsasur was certain that he would be killed in the battle with Indra because this was the desire of Lord Vishnu. He was prepared for death because he knew that after his death he was destined to return home back to Godhead. This is a great destination and it's achieved by the grace of a Vaishnava. Shadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Pa Eche Keba. No one has ever gone back to Godhead without being favored by a Vaishnava. In this verse, therefore, we find the words Manashvinam Pada Rajaha Prapatsye. I shall receive the dust of the lotus feet of the great devotees. The word Manashvinam refers to great devotees who always think of Krishna. They are always peaceful, thinking of Krishna, and therefore they are called Dhira. The best example of such a devotee is Narad Muni. If one receives the dust of the lotus feet of a Manasvi, a great devotee, he certainly returns home back to Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Nicely you read. Okay, so see, many learnings from here. If a person, okay, let us not go anywhere far. Previous example, if when Vritrasura was telling these things to Indra, how will Indra be feeling in his heart? He will be thinking, today is my last day. Just by club, he has moved my Airavata so much distance away. Alone. It's not like I have to kill all his other soldiers. He's alone. He's so powerful. My people are falling down just by seeing at him, and now by hearing his words. Indra will be very, very afraid. When these words that your body will not be even touched by fire, right? Then Indra will be very, very sure nobody is going to save him today and he is going to die for sure. Look at the amount of the fear that Indra will be feeling at that point of time. What do we learn from here? Why are we discussing this? In this material world, when we come across a challenge, our situation will not be worse as Indra's situation at this time. Now, add one more thing on top of everything what we discussed. Indra was told, even Vritrasura knew he is going to get killed. Indra also knew, he knew the formula, how Vritrasura will be killed. All these things were there in the hands of Indra. Still, he was very afraid. Vritrasura knew that he is going to be killed, and look at his confidence. This line, okay, he was prepared for his death because he knew that after his death, he was destined to return home back to Godhead. This is a great destination. So let us all, okay, one thing if you want to take away from today's session is how magnanimous Vritrasura, how heroic, how determined he was. Knowing all those things, I do not have words. Okay, Vritrasura was alone. I'm repeating again. Vritrasura was alone. If we were there at the side of Vritrasura and we knew we are going to be killed today, boss, we will think that was the reason. All my people have left. I was supposed to get killed. Okay, come and kill me. We will not stand to fight for ourselves. We will try to connect everything with what we want. So, can somebody help me to know how many shlokas? I mean, after this 1 or 2, can spend 1 or 2 more minutes. Otherwise, it is till 18 or till 19. Something. I think till 19. Not, yeah, it will be till 19. I think. So very quickly because we are also over running the time. So let us all remember how heroically Vritrasura faced the situation, and ultimately he was a devotee of the Lord, and he was just willing. Our actions does not determine how a person is. He is fighting with the demigods, and he is a great devotee of the Lord. Indra were from the sides of the religion. They are supposed to be more religious, but their desires to get the kingdom back is not a very good idea. So forget who we are, where we are, in what circumstances we are fighting our battle. Just remember, anyone can go back to the Lord because Lord is waiting for everyone. We'll read the next shloka. Suresh kasman nahino sivr vajram purha sthite varini mai amogham ma samsistha nagadeva vrajaha syan nisfala kripana Kripana, Atheva Yachna. Yes, let me. Anyone else wants to read the translation in the purport? The next class. Yes, Krishnamurti Prabhuji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. O King of the demigods, since I, your enemy, am standing before you, why don't you hurl your thunderbolt at me? Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser, the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You need have no doubts about it. Shall I read purport, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Purport by Prabhupada ki jai. When King Indra threw his club at Vrittasura caught in his left hand and realized by using to strike the head of Indra's elephant. Thus, Indra's attack was a disaster failure. Indeed, Indra's elephant was injured and thrown back 14 yards. Therefore, even though Indra stood with the thunderbolt to hurl against Vrittasura, he was doubtful, thinking that the thunderbolt might also fail. Vrittasura, however, being a Vaishnava, assured Indra that the thunderbolt would not fail, for Vrittasura knew that it had been prepared in accordance with the instructions of Lord Vishnu. Although Indra had doubts, because he could not understand that Lord Vishnu's order never failed, Vrittasura understood that Vishnu's purpose. Vrittasura understood Lord Vishnu's purpose. Vrittasura was eager to be killed with the thunderbolt manufactured in Lord Vishnu's instructions, because he was sure that he would thus return home back to Godhead. He was simply waiting for the opportunity of the thunderbolts being released. In effect, therefore, Vrittasura told Indra, if you want to kill me, since I am your enemy, take this opportunity. Kill me, you will gain victory, and I shall go back to Godhead. Your deed will be equally beneficial for both of us. Don't do it immediately. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So let me just check very quickly that today it was still 19 only, I guess. Yeah, till 19 only. Okay, so sorry, we are running a little over time, but we will finish it quickly because this verse is very, very important. So Vrittasura is telling and showing his now eagerness to go back to the Lord. He knew the formula. Indra also knew the formula. Who was going to get killed? Vrittasura. He was either supposed to hide the formula. If Indra is not able to remember, he was not supposed to reveal it. Right? How he's going to be killed. Indra should be remembering it by himself because he has gone there to face an enemy. So the only way through which the enemy could be killed, he should be having full confidence because it was told by the Lord Vishnu. I will just quickly discuss. All of us, we know this story. There was one small, one great Brahmana, and then there was a small tailor, right, who used to stitch the clothes. And Narada goes to both, checking who is great devotee, right? I'm just cutting short the story. And then Narada goes to Brahmana and he says the Lord was passing that elephant from the small hole of the needle. And Brahmana says, oh, are you Narada? I don't think how you can talk like this. How is it possible? An elephant cannot be passed from a small hole of the needle. And when he goes to the other person, I guess it was Taylor only, you can correct me again. And then he said, no, my Lord can do anything. He can. And then other questions, how is it possible? How can you believe Lord can do it? And then the answer that the person gives is, if from a very small few millimeter seed, if the entire banyan tree can come, what is the big deal if elephant can pass from the small hole of the needle? And then Narada's eyes opens. Being externally for a Brahmana does not mean that you have to have that great faith in the words of the Lord. It means, why we are discussing the stories, we can be into any material situation. All of us can be in different parts of the world, doing our responsibilities as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a son, or as anything. We may be having our own physical health, financial, any kind of pressure. This place is meant to be not stable. So miseries can come from any direction. But if we are tolerating, last 2 minutes, okay? Kindly forgive me for that because we started late. So these circumstances are like a bank check. If to any one of us, let me just stop the sharing. Okay, we are 14 people today here now. Any one of us, if we are given a bank check, and if that check we are throwing in a dustbin, suppose the check is worth 2 crore rupees, how much money will we get if we throw that check into a dustbin? Answer that we all 14 of us know, 0. We will not get even a single penny. If we deposit that 2 crore rupees check into the bank, how much money we will get? Again, we all 14 know. Answer is 2 crore rupees. Why it is related to our current context? Our miseries, the problem, the challenges that we are getting are because of our karmas, Lord's desire, so many things which we don't need to do the surgery. How this check has come is not important. What is important is that we have this check in front of us, in our hand. Our current situation, problems, happiness, sorrow, anything is like that check. Okay, let us deposit this at the lotus feet of the Lord while cryingly calling Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let us take the full responsibility as Vritrasura. Okay, I will fight my situation for sure, without any doubt. But we must have this thing very, very clearly in our heart. Our ultimate destination is Lord's lotus feet. If we are able to remember the Lord in our difficult situation, it is as good as we are depositing the check in the bank, and our success is guaranteed. If we are just lamenting why this has happened, oh no, I did not do so bad, I did something good, why only me, why only that? No, that is not the purpose. Use the check to service, in the service of the Lord, by remembering the Lord, by calling the Mahamantra. I wish we had more time so that we could connect the things more clearly and discuss it in more detail. The message is clear and we can discuss it in detail whenever. So we are done with the session from my side. Please feel free to continue with your other responsibilities. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, we can discuss it now. Okay, then I need your permission. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your such nice explanations, Prabhu. Really very, very good for my spiritual progress. Prabhu, this question I have been having from the beginning, that Vritrasura was born to a Brahmana father. His brother was a Brahmana. Why are we calling him a demon, Prabhu?
Mataji, okay. To be very honest, I do not know the answer. Okay. I think one of his parent, okay, was a demon. If
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Due to that reason, Mataji, I can get more detail. But I mean, I just doing this thing like he was counted as. But as I mentioned, the reason of we calling Vritrasura as a demon is not because to bring him down. It is to remind ourselves that we are not calling ourselves demon, and he's doing so many great things. And we, I mean, am I able to explain, Mataji? Your questions answer? Let me get more details, and I can answer, Mataji.
I didn't get it.
Yes. Okay. Vritrasura, because when we call a person as a demon, it means we are trying to connect a person with his family lineage, right?
Yes, yes.
There is, and usually the demons are very sinful.
Yes.
Calling Vritrasura and demon together is not a very good combination because he did not have any demonic qualities. He is helping Indra, right?
Yes.
So the still, if when we are calling Vritrasura as a demon, it is just to remind all of us in our heart that Vritrasura was not a demon. Okay, it is a message to remind ourselves that we are calling Vritrasura as a demon, but actually we are much lower than demon. We don't call ourselves as demon, right?
Yes.
We called Vritrasura as a demon, but we are much lower than Vritrasura. So I'm just trying to use it sarcastically that we are more lower than. So that
was it because he went to fight with the demigods, Prabhu?
No, Mataji, it should be because obviously he was fighting from the sides of the demons, and I need to check, but one of his parent, right, was demon,
Mother
and
was
I can get you more mother. Okay, so I have to get more details.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Very nice class. Thank you so much. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm just passing their words, what I heard. Okay, so kindly use. Yeah, Krishnamurti Prabhuji, you want to say something?
Your today's lesson, the golden word, you have repeated. When we were in distress, we have to submit to the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is a great message for us. So we have to cultivate in our daily life. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. These problems are like our bank checks. Why are we wasting our bank checks every day? We have to deposit bank check. And this bank is open 24/7, Monday to Sunday.
Hare Krishna.
We should not waste our checks. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, then I need your permission to close the session. Kindly bless me that we all can progress together and serve Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णवंदे जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Thank you.
Thank you.